All right, let's welcome in now the board member of the Nuclear Energy Institute, Seth Grae. Also back with us is former Naval Intelligence Officer John Jordan. Gentlemen, great to have you with us.
Great to be back.
All right, John, let's pick back up with you. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says Russia has no intention of nuclear war, but also Moscow is prepared to press on with its invasion of Ukraine until, quote unquote, the end. What do you think he means by that?
Well, I think he means he wants to bring the temperature down with regard to Russian nuclear threats and not necessarily walk back a lot of Putin's public displays of Russian nuclear tests and state and bellicose statements along that. He doesn't want to walk it back, but he's putting the world on notice that Russia is going to use all of the conventional firepower at its disposal to bring this campaign to a conclusion that's satisfactory to the Russians.
Seth, can we ask you about the nuclear energy here? You know, Ukraine heavily dependent on it. The Chernobyl seizure last week obviously was a concern. There were some hostages there, but it seems like they were just seizing it so they could try to get an A to B from the north down into Kyiv. What do you think the biggest worry is insofar as when it comes to nuclear and the people living in Ukraine at this hour?
Well, first of all, the plants are operating well, and the Ukrainian regulator is being able to do its job, including, I understand, with people on site from the regulator at the reactors. There is a nuclear site now that is surrounded by Russian troops, although the Ukrainians are continuing to be able to operate the plant. I would hope that the people in the plant could get home safely and then get back to the plant, or at least there's adequate supplies for them. Right now, I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that there aren't, but it's clearly a tense situation, very frightening for people at the plant, but nothing that I've seen that would pose any particular danger.
Seth, I want to go, stay on this topic actually and talk about why we have not advocated for more nuclear power for a long time. It's one of the cleanest sources of energy in terms of emissions. Obviously, nobody likes the idea of a nuclear reactor in their backyard, but do you think this changes the conversation about the need for more nuclear energy?
Well, I wouldn't mind having a nuclear reactor in my backyard. I'm near them all the time. But I think that definitely we do need to see more nuclear energy. What we've seen in Germany is closing of reactors, more reliance on Russian natural gas, coal, and oil. And at least thankfully, France has built up a big nuclear reactor fleet. Without that, I think you wouldn't see as much unity in the West if there was such a greater need for Russian fossil fuels in Europe. And only nuclear is feasible to get us out from under that, in addition to our natural gas and basic energy that we have now.
And, John, as we've been watching some of the developments today, some of the major attacks have come to the south, the port cities, and it looks like they are closing in there. Obviously, those are very vital for the people who live there. If they're closed off, there's already reports in Mariupol, there's no water, there's nothing coming into the people, the civilians left there. It seems that Russia has its eyes and maybe now some more heavy control into these very, very pivotal areas of Ukraine.
Yeah, there are fewer Ukrainian forces in that area, and the Russians seem to be trying to seize control of the Black Sea coast, a land bridge from what is Russia to occupied Crimea. But what's worth paying attention to here is what type of Russian forces are these? Are these heavily armored, highly mobile forces? And what is the Russian plan of supply? Because the secondary portion of this may be to swing north and try to put pressure on Kiev from the south. If, in fact, these are amphibiously landed troops with limited mobility and very, very limited supply options, and the Russians are having trouble supplying them and moving them overland in large numbers, this may end up, while it's unfortunate for the people in that area, this may end up being something of a sideshow.
Well, there's a lot to consider. And again, Putin telling Macron that everything's going to according to his plan. We'll see what remains in the next hours and days. John Jordan, Seth Grae, we appreciate your insight on the battlefield and also when it comes to nuclear energy. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.